your ultimate guide to managing food. And I would encourage you to bring a pen or pencil and a notepad back to the video. So just put me on pause for a second because I'm going to run straight through 21 important points to grasp if you're struggling with eating, nutrition, and food. Are you ready? Let's go. So, point number one, have a system that you will eventually transform into a lifestyle. So, some of the systems that are out there that are very helpful to establish an eating pattern include a whole food, plant based lifestyle, in my opinion, the best nutrition out there. But there are also other ones, the Whole 30 and the Weight Watchers point system. So if you're gonna eat for life, there's some ways to eat that will help you to feel good. Um, Number two, track your calories. This is going to be necessary so that you know exactly what a portion looks like on your plate. So I use my Net Diary. I will phase in and out of using that to hold myself accountable, but it's a free app. And basically, you need to be tracking everything that you're eating for at least a couple weeks until you get used to those portion sizes. And when you fall off the wagon, come back to my Net Diary and start retracking that again. Uh, Point number three, buy a food scale. It doesn't have to be fancy, but the things that you can't measure out in a cup, um, if you're eating meat, for instance, you'll want to make sure that you can accurately weigh what you're eating because you need to be sticking for between 2 and 3 ounces if you're tracking your calories and managing your food intake. Number four, make your week ahead menu on the weekend. Transfer that menu onto a grocery list and then go to the grocery store and only buy what's on that list. Number five, take a day to food prep so that you're slicing your veggies for your week ahead. Maybe you're making those bowl jaw salads. Maybe you're marinating your tofu or your meat if you're eating meat. But basically, you need to be doing food prep on the weekends so that you're not driving through the fast food, bad for you stuff during your lunch break. Get organized and do your meal prep. It's really important that that gets done. Um, Number six, even though we don't want to be obsessive about food, it is important to be disciplined. So there's nothing wrong with being disciplined around your food and having some food rules to help your brain know what to do throughout the week. So for instance, one of my food rules is that I have a set amount of calories that I stick to every day to feel good. I'm eating whole food, plant-based. So they are my food rules, but then I'll have one day a week where I'll allow myself a dessert um, or some other treat like a bagel that I don't usually eat. Now, some people would say that that is too obsessive. I I take I I take exception to that. I think it's really important to be disciplined around our lifestyle, and if that means having certain things that you eat and certain things you don't, so be it. Um, so that was point number seven. Instead of thinking obsessively about food, replace the word obsessive with disciplined. Number eight, you want to weigh yourself weekly so that if you have a weight target, you know if you're on track or not. and you know whether to either increase or decrease your calories based on what's going on that scale. Weighing yourself any more than once a week can be problematic because, you know, if you're drinking several of these in the morning and you get on the scale, you're obviously going to be holding on to all that liquid. You might not get an accurate read. So don't worry about weighing yourself every day. Just do your once a week weigh-in. Do it naked and do it in the morning before you start chugging your liquid. That'll give you a nice baseline. Number 9, your gut has to be in top shape if you want to feel good and be at your lowest weight. So to get my gut in top shape, I take organic inulin, about half a teaspoon a day. So that's fiber. It's going to clear all the toxic stuff out of your gut. I take 2,500 milligrams of ginger every day. I take probiotics if I'm experiencing some nausea or just not feeling good in my gut. And then I also take turmeric and an anti-inflammatory. And so there are other supplements I take, but those supplements are necessary to keep your gut in tip-top shape. How long will you have to do that for? How long do you want to feel good for? Number 10. If you can't help but crave sweet stuff, try a plant-based sweetener like erythritol. There is some science indicating that other sweeteners on the market, even stevia, by the way, can do damage to organs. So erythritol is, according to scientists, the safest plant-based sweetener. Point 11, you're probably going to be buying a lot of produce if you're trying to limit your calories and maximize your nutrition. So produce is expensive, especially if you're buying organic, which I recommend because that's a lot better for our body. So we don't want to waste produce. It costs a lot of money. So I recommend that you start to juice leftovers, freeze leftovers. Most vegetables will just freeze as they are, including mushrooms and peppers and onions. So juice, freeze, and use that leftover stuff in smoothies. You need a good blender for that, by the way, and I swear by my Ninja blender. That thing's so well used, but it's such a strong blender. It just chomps everything in its path. In its path. Number 12, get the biggest water bottle that you can handle and not spill all over you while you're working. So I will usually chug 2 or 3 of these in a morning. And what's in here is my inulin's in here for the day. And then I use pure beverage enhancers. There's no caffeine in them. There's no bad artificial sweeteners in them, but it just gives that water a nice taste. And I think this one is something like watermelon and berries. So that taste really helps me to get that water down. Water is important for great skin, hydration, and flushing out the toxins and helping those other supplements that we talked about that you need for your gut. So drink more water. Number 13, intermittent fasting is important. It's good for you to be able to experience hunger, experience those rumbles in your belly, because they prep us to eat mindfully and really be able to taste our food rather than just shoving it all down. So I like the 16-8 eating plan. It's not for everybody, and You must check with your doctor if you have medical issues that are going to prevent or complicate your fasting. But the 16-8 plan is really great for my lower metabolism. Even though I work out every day, I do have low metabolism and a low resting heart rate. So this intermittent fasting, this 8-16 method, eat for 8 hours out of the day, fast for 16, I find that works with my metabolism really well, stokes the fires of my hunger, and enables me to maintain my weight. That was number 13, by the way. Number 14, train yourself in mindful eating, conscious eating, or the slow eating movement. There's so much stuff on the internet about that, so you don't really need to purchase anything or do a course. Just read about mindful eating and start to put this into practice in your daily life. Number 15, stoke the senses at mealtime. So how I do this is I'll have a small side plate. Well, it's about this big. It's not a huge dinner plate, a small side plate. And it's something that is very beautiful and appealing, as well as the glass that I drink out of at dinner time. And I'll put my food on this small, beautiful plate, concentrate on colorful food, and eat slowly. You want food to be an experience and not just a shoveling down. And that really helps with the connection and the relationship with food too. So small plates, um, a beautiful, calming setting. Don't eat in front of the TV and just focus on that sensory fulfillment. Number 16, increase your hydration. And if the hunger is scary for you or it bothers you and pulls you off your plan, drink tea, coffee, decaffeinated stuff, matcha, broth, basically up your liquids to help you to maintain the food limitations or restrictions that you have to do when you're dieting, or just help you to maintain your weight as a lifestyle. Um, let's see, I think we're on 16. I might have 22 points here. You might need to remove alcohol from your life. It makes you sluggish, it interrupts your sleep, but it's also a lot of calories. So if you need that margarita or that gin and tonic or that Captain and Coke, just try to have one every couple of weeks or so that it's not impacting your health and your nutrition. Some people need help with weight loss and their nutrition transfer from medications. So some people are going to need medications to assist them with reducing their appetite. So talk to your doctor about this or get referred to a doctor that specializes in weight management at a bariatric clinic. So there's new medications. One is semaglutide, and that really helps people to crunch down on the appetite so that they can start behaviorally with the assistance of medication. And the idea is over time you're not going to need that. If you get into trouble when you go into the grocery store because everything looks good and things jump into your cart, try to order your groceries online. So earlier on, I talked about doing your menu plan, transferring that onto a grocery list. And if you fall off the wagon then when you get into the grocery store, just order your groceries online and have them delivered or go pick them up. That way you're not tempted to buy the unreal, bad for you food in the store. What I would like you to know from the science is that we as human beings are programmed biologically to be starch burners. What does that mean? Well, it means that it's okay to eat potatoes and corn. It's okay to eat whole grains. Our bodies are made to burn that off. Yes, I know that you can lose weight on a protein-based diet, such as a keto diet, but that's not sustainable over the long term. A keto diet is not good for our organs long term, and so it's much better to reset your eating habits doing a starch-based diet. Read the science. It's very clear from the science that that's how we need to be eating. Um, and even if you're doing a calorie restriction diet to lose weight, between 800 and 1200 calories a day, you can still eat starches along with your veggies and fruits. It's just going to be, the starches are going to be a small amount of what you're eating compared to the fruits and vegetables on your plate. Um, there are plenty of amino acids and proteins in plants. You do not need meat and fish. You're not going to be protein deficient. Every time you need to reset when you've fallen off the wagon, you need a mantra. That's training the mind about why you're doing what you're doing. So you need a mantra, and then you need to do a behavioral reset. And imagine this as a lifestyle for the next 60 years. You're not a robot. You're not going to be able to maintain these changes every single day forever. You're going to need to do resets. And so a great way to reset when you fall off the wagon is to start on a Monday and to do a cleanse with lemon water or tea. You don't need any fancy thing that you're going to have to pay a lot of money for. Just do lemon water or tea or just plain water and fast for the morning. Drink lots of liquid and get connected again to that hunger. And then start your eating system and go from there. To feel good and to lose weight, you're going to need to move more. Make no doubt about it, weight loss is about what you're doing here and not really exercise. But of course, movement and exercise help you to feel good and feel strong. And when you feel healthy and strong, you're more likely to eat well. So try to do your movement the first thing in the morning. And what I do is I stuff my clothes under my pillow so that even when I'm half asleep, when I wake up at between 5 and 6 to get out and exercise, I get dressed in bed, and then all I have to do is plant my feet on the floor, and that's where I'm going. I'm going to head out the door and exercise. So move more. Really, weight loss is about your food, but feeling good is about food and exercise. I think I've covered all my points. So if you've written them all down and it's not 21, you can give me an email and I'll change the name of the video. Good look out there.